Hey guys, Anthony here with another quick video. I was asked to explain my perspective of CoinMarketCap a little bit, and especially when it comes to new traders, they see CoinMarketCap as the holy grail of decision making, which it's not. So a couple things that we need to consider when we talk about CoinMarketCap and when we look at the prices. So a common mistake is people buy cryptocurrencies when they see things in green. They go, oh, look, they're going up, good price. So using this filter change 24 hours, they go, oh, wow, Ucash seems to be growing hard. It seems to be a potential. This guy here, Jijik Dao, huge buy coming in. Now, a couple of things we need to understand when we look at these particular prices. First of all, there is the price in US dollar and there's the Bitcoin price. So a lot of these coins, they're tied in with Bitcoin quite a bit. Right? So the way it works is, let's say Bitcoin goes up 100, 200%, or let's say that Bitcoin goes up 20%. Now, the exchanges, they actually look at the exchange rate for a Bitcoin for the currency, right? A lot of these currencies you cannot buy directly with US dollar. So as a result, even if a specific coin is not being traded at all, the price will increase as well because the price of Bitcoin is more expensive, right? So let's say something is worth 0.1 Bitcoin, and at the time a Bitcoin is worth 10,000, then if it increases to 15,000, the other coin increases as well, right? And it might look like a dramatic increase. So let's do some quick maths, as the YouTube video does it. So let's say I have a Ripple. Yeah. And Ripple is being traded at 0.01 BTC. Now we have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is valued at 10,000. So the current price of Ripple, and again this is not a correct price of course, but 0.01 times 10,000 is 100, right? $100. So let's say there's nothing is being happening on Ripple, right? Nobody's buying, nobody's selling, it's just static. And now Bitcoin climbs up to 15,000. So 15,000, 0.01 times 15,000 makes the Ripple coin increase in value to 150. Right? So this is an increase of 50%. So even though the Ripple wasn't exchanged, nobody bought more or sold, we see an increase of 50%, and that's purely because the value of Bitcoin itself went up, not because the value of Ripple went up. Yeah. So very important to look at CoinMarketCap from a BTC perspective, because as long as the currency cannot be bought directly for the dollar or anything else, it's not a good comparison. So what you should do is look at the BTC price. So the BTC price will show you what the difference is between the two. Yeah. Now, it's not as obvious when we look at a negative slide, but it becomes a lot more obvious when we look at a positive slide. So yesterday, so the 16, 17 was actually quite a bit of a climb up. Right, we saw a lot of things going up, but that's really from a perspective of US dollar. When we looked at the Bitcoin price, a lot of them were actually going down. So very important to understand that if you look at CoinMarketCap, look at the Bitcoin price, because that's the only currency, and of course Ethereum, that can be changed directly for US dollar. Yeah, so those guys are only aligned and you can buy them directly. Another thing that you can look at is actually the specific markets. Now, as you might have seen from other videos, I'm a big fan of Cardano. I think it's has huge potential. But of course, over the last couple of days, the Bitcoin price didn't perform as well. So it went up from a US dollar perspective, but from a Bitcoin perspective, BTC perspective, it actually went down quite a bit. So if we look at these charts and we see the price only in US dollar, so let's see if we can change this to BTC, price in BTC. So you can see the difference of the BTC price. So let's look at the last couple of days. So the 16th, let me change this to 7 days, so it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so on the 15th, the price for one Cardano was 41 cents, and it was 0.00042 Bitcoin. Yeah. So if you follow the line up, you can see there's a crossover. So the Bitcoin price is dropping quite a bit, right? To a point where it was like 39. Actually, we can look at the spikes here, maybe. Right. So we can see that the price was 40 cents, but the Bitcoin price was 37. Yeah. So you can see the big difference there. Now, that's quite of a gap, because if I own Bitcoin at the time and then bought Cardano, I could buy a lot more. Right? So keep that in mind when you're doing your trading. There's a bit of a discrepancy between these guys. So when you make a decision of when to buy, you have your Bitcoin, you have your Ethereum ready, then look at what's the difference between the two. Yeah? So when you're doing your market cap research, US dollar is great, but the reality is that the changes are affected by the BTC price, because that's what markets are using to purchase. So if you actually click on Cardano and actually go to the markets, you can see how it sets, right? So BTC, 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 and of course you have your USD Tether, which kind of gives an indication of the USD price, but majority of volume is not related to that. So keep that in mind whenever you make a decision on buying your currency, that you look at the BTC price, because again, if nobody's trading, it can still go up quite dramatically, yeah? And you might end up buying something that isn't worth the US dollar price in reality. Right? So another couple of things that we have to look at is the volume. Right? So if there's a lot of trade volume, then it evens out quite a bit. Right? You have multiple exchanges, and the price between one or the other is quite quite narrow. But there will be cases where the volume is tiny, and it could be that one or two people are just manipulating the price. And especially when you look at the full list, you'll see that type of behavior happening. So currently, I think there are over, how many coins are there? It should say somewhere in the top. Yeah, over 1,500 cryptocurrencies. So let's have a quick look at the volume in terms of trading. And actually, the nice thing is, if you look at all, we can actually see a 7-day change. So if you look at the 7-day change, and I'll just take these guys here. I'll take a quick screenshot of it. So let's take the top 7. That's okay. So, and then I'm gonna change this to BTC. Okay, so the same top 7 gives us a completely different picture, right? So open a new screenshot, compare the two. Then let's look at them side by side. Can I increase this? Don't worry about the other text at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so in the screen, can I zoom this out a little bit? There we go, that's maybe too much. Okay, so for most people, they'll go, well, the last 7 days has been great, right? We have huge jumps. We've seen, Bitcoin Cash going up 23%. We see NEO going up 27%. But then if we look at the Bitcoin price, we can see NEO dropping 2.5%, Cardano dropping 17%. Litecoin's jump is actually not as significant, right? And here the top 3, again, not climbing that dramatically. Right? So keep that in mind when you're buying currency or when you're trying to pick a currency, and you're just using CoinMarketCap. Look at both sides. But let's go back to the volume for a second. The volume can also be very influential. So let's look at the volume, sorting it downwards. And we can see, okay, so these guys have 0 prices, but we should have some. Okay, here we go. There's very little being traded on the Flycoin, but they do make quite a lot of increases. Yeah? And if you see too many increases, so let's sort on the 7 days, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, then you see 500% increase, 80%. So, but the market cap is only 8 Bitcoin, and then if we look at it okay, who's generating these increases, these dramatic changes, it's often 1 or 2 markets. So in this case, it's only 1 market that is pushing this price. Right? So it's very easy for somebody to, let's say you're a developer, you're an owner of what I call the Ponzi coin, and you sell or you buy your own currency at an extremely high price, then this thing jumps up quite dramatically. Right? So it's very easy to manipulate markets like that when people start buying themselves and selling themselves, just so that people get interested in it again. Oh well, something's going on. I need to jump on this potential profit. But it's not always the case, because with those small volume ones, it's very easy to actually manipulate the market. So just to summarize, a couple of things that we need to look at. One, always look at the USD, but BTC price as well, and the Ether price as well, because certain coins are based on Ether technologies, certain are based on BTC technology. Right? Reason, because a lot of exchanges allow you to only buy with Bitcoin or with Ethereum, another currency. Yeah? So the USD price, don't always look at it, because it might not be the best. The second one is look at all the currencies and actually compare the 7-day increase for both USD and Bitcoin and see the difference. So this is just to give you some smarter marketing ideas. And I might do another video in the future in terms of trading using the Binance system. I have another video as well that I'll link below in case you're interested. And any questions, any comments, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.